Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me in my lair. I am Barbie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ballad, Wisconsin, and today I am here to show you how to make this cute card. Now this is kind of going back into one of our stamp sets from the annual catalog. It is the Free as a Bird stamp set. And today we're using this little bird, and I'm going to show you again how to reverse his image and get a really good image using just this one stamp mirrored. And I also threw in the little leaves and the "we're the best of friends" sentiment. And normally I've got kind of a simpler card, more of like a simple stamping card on a Monday, but it's just been crazy, and I figured I'm gonna step it up just a little bit and just do just a tad bit more on the card today. So we've got the paper, we've got the ink. I used the largest oval from the I'm messing up my paper now. From the Layering Ovals Framelit Dies. So I ended up using this largest regular oval and sent that through my die cut machine, and we're also using markers to color today. So not and the baker's twine, if I haven't mentioned that already. So not exactly per se a simple stamping card, but it still turns out really cute. I will be back on Monday with another simple stamping card. I promise. So, because I have this cute paper, I do not want to mess him up. So I'm going to bring out my really well stamped scrap paper, because I want to go ahead and stamp on my oval real fast. And we're using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, which is an important one. You're going to see that I'm coloring with it, and it's kind of a don't do. They say that opposites attract when it comes to ink and coloring, but I really didn't worry about it too much because I needed to use the Memento for the bird technique that I'm going to show you. And so, because this is kind of a bigger oval, probably than what I really needed. So I'm going to stamp some of these leaves in here as well and color those in with the markers here just in a little bit. Going to get all my coloring done all at once. So I'm going to do all my stamping, then do all my coloring. Alright, now I have a scrap piece of paper. I didn't tell you the dimensions of paper. Aren't I nice? Whisper White, 8.5 by 5.5, my go-to, or 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, at my go-to. Then I am using a piece of DSP from the Bird Ballad DSP Designer Series paper pack, and this is cut to fit the front of the card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. There, got that out. And then the scrap piece of paper is for the birds. Get out my silicone craft sheet because I'm going to need that as well. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to stamp one of my birds the correct way. So I'm going to try to conserve paper here. And then, so I have him all stamped up nice using the Memento ink, and it's very important to use Memento ink. Don't try to use this with StazOn because it's gonna be a disaster. It's gonna disasterify on you. That's my terminology here. It is going to disasterify on you, not what you want. So the silicone craft sheet has a part that says, let me see if I can get it. It's a raised part, and it's got the Stampin' Up! Logo on there. You want to flip it over and use the the flat side, just in case, so if you do stamp, you're not getting that kind of crazy image from the Stampin' Up. So I am going to, Stampin' Up logo, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this bird down on my silicone craft sheet, flip him over, and then line him up. And you don't want to move this around very much or jostle it around because you're going to end up smearing your bird. So you don't want to smear your image at all. So you want to leave it, and I'm going to dip it in my ink too apparently. And see how nice and crisp and clear that bird came out? Look at that. So cute. So this is one of my go-to techniques. Now I have to think about what side I stamp this on. See, I'm getting messed up again. And now I have a nice little image of a bird down here. It goes. It works, right? So much for saving that paper, I guess. The paper for the rest of the week is going to have the bird on there. Alright, so in coloring in these birds, of course, I'm going to use the Old Olive for the leaves. The reason why I chose the Old Olive for this was because that's part of the color scheme for the paper pack. So it kind of keeps it all in line. So the Old Olive for the leaves. I have Basic Gray for the beaks of the bird. I am going to put just a little bit of Pumpkin Pie around the eye and the face of the bird. And then I'm going to color the rest of the bird in with the Daffodil Delight. And I am back. I have my birds cut out here and I can get started on putting this card together. So, without further ado, I wanted to show you a trick that I did with this one. I am not running out of the Whisper White Baker's Twine, but I just wanted to show you a quick tip as how you can put it across the front of your card and it not waste a bunch. So with my snail, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a couple of tack downs right in the middle of the back of the card. And I'm going to unroll some. So I'm going to go ahead and put my first one pretty much right square in the middle, like so. And then I'm going to come across and not trying to pull it too tight because you don't want your cardstock or your DSP to bend. So you still want to kind of do it loosely. Tack it down on this back part here. Well, now instead of going around like I normally would, let me show you this. Normally I would wrap it around 3 times. But if you're starting to get kind of low on your twine and you don't want to have all of this, because this will add up, you can just loop it around and stick it down again and come back around the front. And then do the same again once more. So you're going to loop it around and tack it down. And then you can bring it right back across. Make sure it gets tacked down on your snail one last time, and then you can snip it off. So then you're not using as much of your baker's twine, because there are some times that you have just a lot of different projects that you want to get done, and they take a lot, like multiple of one particular card. Like I am going to be doing invitations soon, and if I want to put the thread on there, I want my baker's twine to get as much use as possible, go as far as it can. So, that being said, because there are times that I'm just a cheapskate, I will totally admit that. And I was told it's not being a cheapskate, it's being thrifty. So, just line this up, because this is going to be the full front of the card. And now I have it arranged so that the bird tracks are heading up the card. If it's completely up to you, but this was kind of the way I wanted to do it. So if you are particular on which way you want your bird tracks to go, just cut that DSP, so then that's the way they would go. So another little thing that I did, I had extra an extra like strip of DSP, so I cut one that was the length of the card but 3/4 of an inch tall to put on the inside of the card. So that looks like so. Just gives a little bit of pop inside the card. So, and here I am saying so too much, right? The back of my oval here is telling on me there is a reason why there's two sides of every piece of paper, and that was a failed attempt at another card. I didn't like it, so we just moved on. So I'm going to center this as best as possible and get my twine the way I want it situated, and then I'm going to go ahead and smooth this down, hopefully without getting adhesive everywhere. The birds, I'm going to flip these guys over, and my dimensionals went where? I think my dimensionals flew the coop. There's my big ones, but oh, there they are. Have my little mini ones that I wanted to use for the ground pieces on these birds. And I use up my dimensionals, get as much off of this paper. Not as much as I can, but everything on this paper comes off. No dimensional sticky left behind. Especially when it comes to these birds, because I want to make sure that they're going to stay in their spot. Don't want them going anywhere. No runaway birds on my watch. And then this little rim of dimensionals makes really good little pieces that go on the tail. So if you want to dimensional the tail, check out how good that fits on there. Can I get it in focus? Check that out. Come on, focus. Like talking to a child, you gotta focus, focus. It's not working for me tonight. Or today. Okay. Recording this Sunday night, going to edit it Sunday night, and upload it Sunday or Monday morning. So now you know my schedule. And even at that, it got kind of crazy this weekend. I try to get my videos done like Friday so that I can spend the weekend, so I can spend the weekend editing and uploading, because now I can only upload one at a time. And it seems to take forever. So get these dimensional backs off. And speaking of videos and such, I had to cancel a lot more of my in-person things than I wanted to, and so many things are just going straight to being online in Facebook groups and such. And I had been toying around with the notion of doing a Patreon for probably about a month and a half now. I started it and it just kind of sat and I never finished signing up for it until Friday when I'm like, you know what? I just had to cancel like 6 different events. So I need to do something else. And so I'm like, finish my Patreon. So I don't have any videos on there quite yet. I am going to be starting to put videos on there this week and get that going. But I do have it set up for the first few months here while I'm getting used to Patreon. Although it doesn't seem too difficult, I still don't want to be confused on something and be, okay, so here's the deal. So for the first few months here, I'm just going to have one tier at like $5 and you'll be able to see everything that I post. So just so that I can get used to it and do my welcomes and do some kind of basic videos for anybody who is new to stamping, because I want to kind of start from the beginning. So if you are interested, I am going to be putting the link to that below in the description to this video, along with the dimensions of the papers and all that good stuff that I did not get to right at the beginning of the of this video, because I am still kind of scatterbrained from all of the craziness and my mind is just not thinking right. Trust me, I did have my coffee, I promise. So, with all that jabbering and all of that stuff, we have a finished card. So, if you do like this card, please like, share, and subscribe. There's plenty more of my videos to watch until I am back with you on Wednesday with another card. And I do hope you like this. And I do hope you check out my Patreon and see what it's all about and all that good stuff. If you like my videos here, of course, I'm pretty sure you are going to be liking my Patreon. So, without further, I will go for now. And until next time,